New Japan Pro Wrestling's New Japan Cup 2021 Night 6 is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. If you're wondering if this is the first time you're checking us out, like, man, what is that sexy voice I'm hearing? Let me tell you, I'm the Pro Wrestling Fly Guy, joined by another sexy voice in his own right, the UK champion, the king of the UK, LK himself. Man, LK, my good brother across the pond. How are you tonight?
I'm living the damn dream. Looking forward to breaking down this New Japan show, which, all throughout this tournament, we always have a different way of watching these shows. You tend to watch the undercard as well as the New Japan Cup matches. I, being Mr. Piece of shit, just watch the New Japan Cup matches. So I've just watched New Japan Cup matches. In my defense, I have watched AEW today, as well as the Nitro, which has been reviewed, which is going to be uploaded on the channels as well. So I'm not being a lazy bastard. It's just I'm watching lots of other different things as well. If this was a Road to show, I'd watch the whole thing. If this was a full show, I'd watch the whole thing. But because it's New Japan Cup and it's the early rounds, I'm just watching the New Japan Cup matches. So apologies about that.
What Nitro episode are you on?
We just reviewed the 11th of March, 1996. Obviously, it's 25 years ago. We've covered all the Nitros. That will be uploaded tomorrow.
So that's probably if my math is correct, if my wrestling math is correct, that might be some Nitro build on the way to the uncensored show. I'm think if I'm correct, if I'm right
Yep.
about that.
Yep. It's the second to so the next episode, which will be we'll be covering the March 18th, which will be next week. That's the go home show for Uncensored. So, and I've never watched Uncensored 96, so I'm looking forward to it.
If you were in store for a treat, if that's a good or bad treat, you're going to be definitely in store for. I've probably seen that show maybe about two times, and the first time was it's live airing, and then the second time was, I just want to torture myself. So, yeah, this
Oh, you
is
made me
okay.
down in the dumps now. Oh, WCW ain't
I,
that bad.
honestly though, okay, like when I say torture myself, sometimes though you can appreciate like there's some stuff on there that's not bad actually. But sometimes when there's stuff that's bad, I think that when it's bad, you can kind of just like appreciate how bad it is. You know what I mean? So it's just like, all right,
At least like when you watch a bad show, like Raw, I did a Raw review, which I don't upload WWE on the SOS channel because people don't like it. So that's up on the Podbean. Everyone go check that out. And I did a Raw review and the show stunk. But I tell you what, it was so fun being able to rant about such a shit show. I've forgotten, obviously, back in the day when I used to do stuff with Dave on Coco Sports, we used to watch Raw and SmackDown live every week, and NXT live every week, and go live straight after for an hour to 2 hours. Man, I don't know how I did that. I must have been young and naive, man, because the idea of watching Raw live alone is laughable. The idea of then doing an hour, 2 hour review after it, especially in my time zone, it would be about 6 a.m. when the time I wrapped up. There is absolutely no fucking chance I'd ever do that. You'd have to pay me in the six digits to be able to even remotely think about doing that every week. Man, what was I thinking? Young and naive. Fucking hell. On my Friday
okay,
nights, man, I should be going out hitting the town when I was 18. Instead, I was sat in my fucking, in the outside garage talking about pro fucking wrestling. Old times have changed.
man. I mean, we've been there though, man. And dude, I think I told you the story about Raw before we move on to New Japan Pro Wrestling. And the only reason you're willing to do that because you have the Hiroshi Tanahashi iron willpower to watch those shows. So Tanahashi powers you through to watch those shows. But it's kind of like back in the day. Shout out to my buddy Fred, runs Kayfabe Connection. I used to drive over his house to go watch Monday Night Raw, and he didn't live like extremely close. He didn't live far. It was probably about 15-minute drive tops. You know what I mean? So it's just like 15-minute drive to watch a 3 hour Raw to where by 10 o'clock I'm falling asleep, and I'm like, there's no way in hell I would like even fathom doing anything like
Oh
that. Now I'm just
no,
like,
no
oh,
way. Absolutely not. Like pay-per-views is an exception, but just for
Yep.
Raws, it's just pure torture. But I'll do a test next week. How about I'll upload all the WWE stuff so I'm uploading to the Podbean onto the channel, and we'll see as long as there's no unsubscribers, I'll keep uploading them. That's my fear, because I remember I uploaded I think it was some form, I think it was a SmackDown review, and we lost 2 subscribers. I was like, yee, okay, I don't want to. It's like a touchy subject. It's like people. I don't know. It was an NXT review. There's like AEW. I think you could get a pass because AEW is doing stuff with New Japan. So that's why I'm literally just about to record an AEW Dynamite review when we're finished with this one. And then I'll upload that to the channel, because I think you get a pass of AEW. But with WWE, I think there's so many content creators, especially on YouTube, that do it. I think if it pops up in people's subscriptions feed, they're like, "Fuck off, go away." So that's the minimum.
It's a touchy subject. I can see what you mean, man. This is AEW, like I said, and like you said, excuse me. I think it's kind of all right. I think pretty much any wrestling that's not WWE or linked to WWE, I think will be okay, because I think it's kind of almost under that umbrella of we can work together if some stuff happens. Like if we ever wanted to do like a Ring of Honor show, which has been fucking wild since we've done that. But if we ever wanted to do that, I don't think we'd get like the negative feedback as opposed, like you said, doing a WWE, NXT show. You know what I mean? So it's just like, yeah, or if you did like an MLW review or something like that, I don't think that would get like a negative feedback as opposed to a WWE branded show. Just being real.
I agree. I 100% agree, because it's in the end of the day, the channel that we've spent the last 6 weeks really working hard, and the channel is growing. It's really good to see. But it has been the New Japan coverage that really has stepped up the game. So I think uploading too much non-New Japan could be damaging, because if the core and meat and potatoes of the audience is New Japan fans, that's great, because we cover every New Japan show, but that should be our focus, and primary goal is to review every New Japan show. And I just do the Raws and that as an extra on my own personal little fucking podcast, so it doesn't affect because that's the last thing I want to do, is affect the growth of this channel. And by doing WWE shows, I think that does limit the growth of it, sadly.
And also too, okay, before we get into these matches, not only New Japan, but because I watch a lot of YouTube, so I'm bound to find these things. I'm bound to come across them, because YouTube will have recommendeds, and they'll send you stuff that will be recommended to the stuff that you watch. So not only New Japan, because people do have New Japan coverage videos on YouTube, no matter the variety they are. But as far as, I don't see a lot of All Japan coverage. I don't see a lot of DDT coverage how we do it. I don't see a lot of Pro Wrestling Noah coverage how we do it. So not only we bringing those, I think people were here for the New Japan as well, but I think that they also are here for those other promotions as well, because how we cover them, you can't really get that anywhere else on YouTube. We're pretty much the only people here doing this on YouTube. That I mean, I saw like maybe another video where somebody was talking about the Muto defeating Go Shiozaki, but for the most part, I was like, dude, that's like, we're like only people that like cover that.
Yeah, 100%. I remember back in the day we used to be the SOS Progresso network, and I think that could be a potential shout, because I think that is, like you said, our meat and potatoes. Like, it's all well and good me fucking going, I'm fucking uploading this WWE stuff when it's damaging, and the audience there, that when I could have been uploading a Noah video, you know what I mean? So I definitely think Japanese pro wrestling is it's on niche, isn't it? And YouTube is in particular. You want to find a niche. You don't if you upload a Raw review when 100 people have already done it, or you upload a DDT review where a maximum of 2 other people have done it, you're gonna get watched.
Exactly. It's just all about, and especially how the YouTube algorithm is nowadays, man. So if we're like only two, one of, like you said, 3 or 4 videos that's like doing like a full review of it, man, our chances to get seen on that are high. So yeah, I don't know when the Kaiji Muto and Kaito Kiyomiya title match happened, or if it has happened yet, but please believe we will be reviewing that bad boy whenever.
I think that's Saturday or Sunday.
I'm instantly more excited for that than I am for anything New Japan Cup, because I know I could just see that. It's like whenever I want, I could just watch New Japan Cup stuff whenever I want. But I'm just like, that title match, because I mean, it is a title match in the end of the day, and they didn't delete their GHC Heavyweight Championship to make the GHC World Heavyweight title, so I can at least credit Pro Wrestling up to that. So.
Bastards. Anyway, we've gone 10 plus minutes, and we've talked about shit.
Right. So I'm about I'm about to just breeze through this undercard stuff. I'm not about to take too long on it. So we're in. I always butcher the name of the city. Okay, that is prefecture. So if anybody in Japan is listening, who I actually looked at some of our numbers, we actually do have a quite bit of listeners in Japan, which is pretty interesting. So shout out to our Japanese listeners, man. So EMA, I think it's how it's pronounced. If somebody knows the pronunciation of it, please comment down in the comment section below. But I'm gonna breeze through this undercard. The first match we had Tomohiro Ishii and Yoshihashi defeating Yoja Tsuji and David Finlay. Tomohiro Ishii got the victory at a little under 11 minutes. And decent tag team match. Okay, but what I loved about this match was the post-match stuff between Yoshihashi and David Finlay because it was different than what you see from New Japan. It wasn't a gesticulation or of, oh, I'm going to get in your face. We're going to like kind of go chest to chest or we're not going to do anything. Clearly, it was just like David Finlay and Yoshihashi pretty much the language barrier was broken because you hear David Finlay and Yoshihashi pretty much saying, "Oh, I'm gonna win." And he's like, "Nah, bro, I'm gonna beat you." It's like you're not beating me, bro. And they're just kind of sitting on the apron doing this. It's like, "Nah, I'm gonna win this match here." And so like David Finlay's walking up the apron, he's like, "No fucking way you're gonna beat me." Coming up here in a couple of days. So I just like how it's different from the Kota Ibushi Sonata not really doing anything to the Ishii trying to just whoop everybody's ass, whoever he has an entanglement with at that time, to, you know what, nah, man, I'm going to beat you the other day. And I see no way that you're going to beat me. He's like, nah, I disagree with you. I'm thinking I'm going to beat you. So I think that was a nice touch here with the post-match stuff with these guys. So I'm excited for the David Finlay and Yoshihashi match. And David Finlay kind of is favoring CM Punk with that mustache. That's just my honest opinion. See, he looks like that mustache makes him look very CM Punk-like, but whatever. Match number two, we have a trios match right here. We have the Bullet Club trio, Jado, Yujiro Takahashi, and the Underboss Bad Luck Fale getting the victory over Yuya Yamura, Tamaki Homa, and Satoshi Kojima right here. Yujiro Takahashi gets the victory with Pimp Juice over Yuya Yamura. Yamura showed fight as he always does, but I think Yujiro getting the victory here was probably a good shout because I think he needed a little bit of reward after that great New Japan Cup match they had with Yoshihashi the night before. So give Yujiro Takahashi a reward by giving him a victory right here because that match, okay, I know you covered it, and I know people go back and watch that as well. That match him and Yoshihashi was damn good. So give Yujiro a little bit of. I enjoyed that match so much.
That
Now go
was
ahead.
fucking. No, sorry. No, my personal. I didn't know because obviously that was a me solo one, and obviously I know on Saturday that'll be a you solo, and we'll be together again on Sunday. But what was your thoughts on the Chase Owens and David Finlay match? That was because that was my match of the night. I fucking love that. I'm just curious of what your favorite match out of the three was.
It was honestly what's crazy, dude, is all three of those matches were really fucking solid. And to maybe pick one over the other, that's not maybe throwing shade on none of the other matches. I went with the main event. I thought that was probably my match of the night because Hanare, that was probably a different. I almost thought he was going to pull it off because somebody commented in the comment section a couple of reviews ago, and they kind of put that seed in my mind. They were like, hey, Hanare is probably due for a push here because he got his push stalled because he got injured, so that kind of set him back for a little bit. And then I thought about the New Japan Cup and how there really hasn't been any like major quote unquote upsets. And I was just like, dude, Hanare could pull the victory off right here. So I literally was buying, as the match was going on, I was buying into Hanare getting an upset victory right here. So I think that kind of pulled me in for that to be my match tonight. And I just think Jay White's probably, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, Jay White's probably the best wrestler in the world right now as we talk. So, yeah, it's just like, man, I thought that match was really fucking good. Chase Owens and fucking David Finlay was just, to me, that was almost like a very, very classic style pro wrestling match. And I like the way that David Finlay got the victory too. It was, you didn't expect him to get the win like that, but I think they should probably have a Texas heavyweight title match down the line. I would like to see more David Finlay and more of Chase Owens here in a singles capacity. Oh, maybe we'll get that here on the upcoming tour. I hope we get that. But Yujiro Takahashi and Yoshihashi, to me, I think that match might, even though I said the main event, but this match right here, it was probably better than it had any right being, and not taking anything away from both guys, Yoshihashi or Yujiro Takahashi, because when they can go, they can go. But they fucking brought it, man. I was buying into the near falls. I was buying into the karma submission attempts. Then once he got that final karma, I'm like, yep, that's it. So even though these matches the previous night might have lacked quote unquote star power, they were so fucking solid and probably top three matches of the tournament, depending on what your order of match rank is, because that was just some excellent pro wrestling that they put on the night before.
Roger that. Roger that. Yeah, let's. Oh, isn't there still a few matches on the undercard you haven't broke down yet?
Yeah,
I was about to say I was about to jump into the Yano great fucking average
nah,
Okada.
I just break them down real quick. So then after that Pimp Juice victory from Yujiro, we had an 8-man tag team match. Los Ingobernables de Japón. Bushi, Naito, Shingo Takagi, and Sanada going against Sho, Kazuchika Okada, and Hiroki Goto. And I'm glad he got his own signature entrance, Yuji Nagata, here in this match. Because I was like, is this? I was like, who's going to be there for it? And I was like, Yuji gets his own entrance. It makes sense. But Bushi actually eats the pinfall via shock arrow to Sho, and it makes sense because Bushi actually pinned Sho the night before, so they're having a little bit of going back and forth between Sho and Bushi right here. So it's kind of like a little. Also, too, about the undercards is they don't have necessarily rivalries, but since they're going to be matched up with each other throughout the tour, it's kind of like a mini rivalry within itself because it's like, dude, you pinned me the other day, I'm gonna try to pin you tonight. So that's what we had happen right here. A little over 12 minutes and 1 second to be exact. So yeah, the Chaos and Yuji Nagata team get the victory right here. So then our final preliminary match is a trios match. Toa Hanare, Juice Robinson, Hiroshi Tanahashi taking on Chase Owens, Kenta, and Jay Wright right here. Kenta is not Kenta, but Chase Owens submits via the Texas Cloverleaf, 13 minutes and 18 seconds right here. Yeah, so we know we got Jay White and Hiroshi Tanahashi coming up, and that's kind of the reason I thought Toru Hanare might have pulled the upset over Jay White is because we've seen Jay White and Hiroshi Tanahashi many times before, which they can have an excellent match, of course. But I was just like, man, how much sense would it have made if Toru Hanare would have upset Jay White? Then he would have went on to wrestle Hiroshi Tanahashi, who's pretty much been like a mentor to him. So that's kind of how I was looking at it as well. But it didn't play out like that. So shit just happens. It didn't play out like that, you know. So we digress. We move on. Hiroshi Tanahashi, like I said, gets the victory. Him and Jay White are pretty much they're posing against each. They're having a pose off pretty much throughout the whole match. So I think we're getting that match. I want to say Sunday, I believe. So he puts up, and this is interesting too because I thought about this LK because how they took away the Intercontinental title because I guess essentially became meaningless. People need to watch, not people, but New Japan needs to watch themselves here right here too because Tanahashi was holding up the never open weight title to Jay White, and Jay White essentially is looking like he don't care about that belt. And I'm like, wasn't that the same problem that y'all had with Intercontinental title, quote unquote, so to speak? So if Jay White doesn't want to be the never openweight champion, how long before this belt is also absorbed? Because I don't know. It's just really interesting. I'm like, dude, he doesn't even want to hold that belt now. It's just really weird with stuff like that. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, y'all going down a slippery slope. It's like, okay, Jay White, I'm going to be this champion. So do we absorb this belt with the world heavyweight belt now? So are we going to only have the world heavyweight, the junior heavyweight, and the tag belts? Which, if they went that route, I guess, I mean, whatever. But I don't know. It's just interesting because are we going to start having people now to say, I don't even care about the never openweight belt? Because a lot of people said that about the IC belt. Now it's about to be extinct. And if people start saying the same thing about the never openweight championship belt, then what's going to happen to that? But that's another topic for another story for another time. We get to these New Japan Cup matches because we only got two of them tonight. One of them on the shorter side, the other one on the kind of going the cup, not really the shorter side. This is probably a marathon for Yano actually. So first match we got right here in the New Japan Cup action, we got Toru Yano taking on the man who actually defeated Tetsuya Naito in the first round, the Great Okan, in the second round of the New Japan Cup right here. And I enjoyed their little opening comedy spots. Okay, I know these could probably be hit or miss for some people, but I am not. I thought it was cool the little opening comedy spots because Okan, he allowed Yano to tape his hands behind his back. Then he dared Yano to hit him with the corner pad, which I thought was interesting. Yano, or not Yano, Okan, he took a flat back bump and he dared Yano to try to cover him. Okan sat on Yano's chair in the middle of the ring. We got Yano sitting on a chair in the aisle. So we got Okan taking Yano's his King of Pro Wrestling trophy and threatening to stomp on him to get Yano back inside the ring. He's offering Yano handshakes right here. So this match is just pretty full of fucking shenanigans from the start right here.
Yeah, it was quite entertaining at the start because when it started off, this was one of those shows where I put it on and I had zero expectations because I just wasn't looking forward to any of the two matches, and no disrespect intended. I just wasn't looking forward to or interested in either because, you know, all these first round matches on all these nights I've been excited for at least one match of the lot, and I wasn't excited for any of these matches. Like Great Khan and Naito, I was looking forward to just because I was curious who was going to win, and I thought it was like we talked about on that show. Go check that review out. It was the biggest win of Great Khan's career to date, especially after the losses he took to Tanahashi over the January and February of this year. And then you have Yano, who's always a tournament spoiler we talked about on one of I think the preview and predictions. But man, I enjoyed this. I actually really, really enjoyed this. I'm gonna say it. I preferred Yano and Great Khan over Evil and Jeff Cobb. Generally,
Mm.
generally, I was highly entertained. And I don't know if it's Great Khan. Maybe he works really well with comedic style wrestlers. Who the fuck knows? But I really enjoyed it. And like you said, when they both sat on the chair and he's like, go on. And then he takes the trophy and he's like, I'm going to step on it. I'm going to step on it. And Yano's like, whoa. What do you think you're doing? And he gets in the ring and he like, Great Khan like claps like, oh, well done, buddy. Like I just thought it was really funny, really entertaining, and really, really good.
Yeah. Like and two, when I was watching this match, LK, like literally Yano was the reverse Undertaker because I say that because he doesn't have like an Undertaker gimmick, but I just love how like how he interacts with quote unquote, I hate to say the freak gimmicks in New Japan, but for lack of a better term, the freak gimmicks, the evils, the Tama when he has a face paint and is crawling all around the ring, the Great O'Khan right here, Izuka back in the day. So I kind of just think this is interesting how because he's just like, man, what's up with this dude, man? He's just like, I don't really know. And they're like, dude, and he's like, hey, yeah, go ahead and take get my hands behind my back. And Yano's like, what? Like, are you okay? I'll tape your hands. So yeah, Great O'Con's definitely protected in this match. Yano winning, I think he's going to go on and face the winner of the next match right here. So you knew that they weren't placing anybody from United Empire against each other. So it's pretty much with Great O'Khan taking the L right here. The match result for the next match is kind of pretty much up in the air because even though Evil was one of their pretty much, main event talents because he was a former double champ, it's kind of up in the air because you would figure not Okada, but Jeff Cobb would be maybe due for a victory against them. So that kind of left that result for that main event match up in the air, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. When Yano beat him, you're like, oh, okay, Cobb could beat him now because they weren't ever going to do Jeff Cobb versus Great Khan in the quarterfinals. Never, never, never. But yeah, it was just a really fun match, and like at the end, it was like when he hit the low blow and the roll up, and I actually like proper was like fist bumped the air when Yano beat him because I was rooting for Yano because I don't want to watch another Great Khan match. But like it was really, really fun. I really, really enjoyed it. I've forgotten how much I loved Yano in these tournament matches. Like throughout the year, he has two times to shine. In March for the New Japan Cup and in the summer for the G1 Climax. This is time to shine. That's when he brings his A game. Obviously, he does a lot more single stuff now because of the KOPW trophy, sorry. But yeah, it's really, really good to see, and I really, really enjoyed it. So shout out to Yano and Okan. Especially, I love the finish because I thought Okan had him when he got the claw on and he kind of had him in the canvas and he's holding the head down. I was like, no. And then when he got out, I was like, yes. But yeah, I was really emotionally into it just because I don't want Great Khan to win because I don't want to see him wrestle. I don't want to see him wrestle, but I'd rather watch a Yano match because
Nah,
I need some time away from Okan. We need some distance. This needs to become a long distanced relationship rather than a every night seeing you. So I'm looking forward to not seeing Great Khan again for a while until probably the finals. But then when we get to the semi-finals and the quarterfinals, I'll probably watch the undercard as well. So we'll have to watch the chap. But he doesn't suck. Like this was good, and it takes two to tango. So we had a really good comedic match of Yano. But beforehand, just I don't know. There's something about him that I just don't enjoy.
You can't put your finger on it, but it's there. But so now we got the main event of the show, New Japan Cup second round match. We got Evil with Dick Togo defeating Jeff Cobb in about 23 minutes, 8 seconds via Everything is Evil right here. So Jeff Cobb was really good in this match. This is probably, in my opinion, one of Evil's better efforts of late. Unfortunately, we got the usual Bullet Club shenanigans and maybe took away from the match. What could have been it took away from what was a good match, could be a really, really great match, in my opinion. Of course, we get Evil stalling for the first few minutes through this match. He was, playing that he was afraid of Jeff Cobb's power, which, rightfully so. We get Evil working over Jeff Cobb for a bit, and towards the end of the match, we get Dick Togo jumping on the apron. He actually choked Jeff Cobb with the garrote. And actually, we get Yujiro Takahashi coming on for the apron for a distraction. Evil hit Everything is Evil. He got the pin. thought this was a good match. They could have done everything that they did in this match in that 23 minutes. If this match was like 16 minutes,
Oh
it'd have
yes,
been
yes. Oh,
better.
that's literally that. It was the only downfall. It was so long. It like just because it's the main event, and New Japan have always done this. Their main events, if it's a singles match, whether it be tournament, whether it'll be a cup, has a title match, it has to go long. It's traditional New Japan main event, and sometimes when you got two big guys like this, you don't want to see it going 23 fuck me minutes. Like especially the mid stint, when we're 10, 12 minutes in, we should be at the point where we're getting to the big high spots where we're like, cool, get some near falls in, boom, 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 both men are exhausted because they beat the fuck out of each other. But here you're just at the point where the heat's coming in and you're like, oh, you got at least another 10 minutes here. And it was just too long in my opinion. Nothing against these guys. It was just too long for the match. And what these two guys, like you said, could have done if they got 15, 16, maybe even trim it down to 13. Same as Evil Yano and Okan, sorry. But it was like you said, it was a good match. Like it didn't stink. It was just too long, and like my attention span was just like like oh check my phone and that's one thing. That's how you can judge a really good match to a great match is how often do you go on your phone? Do you get distracted? Are you emotionally engaged? And nothing against the wrestlers, they did a good job and they busted their ass. It's just it was too long. And they need to stop doing this every night. We're ending with at least a 20-minute match. And it's like, oh, come on, please, can we trim these down?
It's like, why can't these two big, muscular, strong guys just run into each other like two just wrecking balls, and then like we get like you said, 10 to 13 minute affair,
Like
like
Suzuki and Honma,
yeah,
perfection of a length of a match. It was like, what, 10, 11, 12 minutes long? It wasn't 20-odd minutes. But they went out there, they beat the fuck out of each other, and they got out. And everyone was happy. That's what this one should have been.
right. And it is, I don't know, it makes it more believable in my opinion. It's just like, all right, they went out there, they went full tilt, was about 13 minutes. These guys fucking hit the shit out of each other. Match over, So I can definitely buy that, man. And okay, so the next we don't have a show tomorrow, so we got a show Saturday and we got a show Sunday. So I'm looking at the card on Saturday. There are only two New Japan Cup matches for the second round, but there is one preliminary match that I got on my eye on that I think is super interesting, and that match is the Suzuki Gun trio of Zack Saber Jr., Taichi, and Doki taking on the United Empire's Great Okan, Jeff Cobb, and Will Osprey. I don't really remember the United Empire and Suzuki Gun having many entanglements, so seeing Taichi interact with Great Okan will be pretty interesting in my opinion.
Yeah, roger that. It should be really fun. That sounds like a match I might even watch for the undercard. That might be one I even watch because I'm at the point now where
Yeah,
I don't even attempt to watch it. I find the intermission and I hit it and I hit post intermission and then bam, I'm there. But yeah, as we're in the second round now, I think it's time for LK to start watching these undercard matches, start pulling my weight. In this tag team, I'm kind of getting the hot tag towards the end of the match, getting my shit in, and then fucking off. And it's I need to start watching these full shows. But it's just like I said, watching all the other stuff as well is kind of difficult.
okay, why do I have to be the baby face in peril while watching these undercard matches? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
man, you're getting beaten the fuck out by Suzuki, and I'm just there just tag me in when it's my time, would you? Like, I'm gonna get in there for the final 5 minutes where you've been getting fucked up for like 12 minutes. But I bet those 12
You're not
minutes.
even coming in to break up pins.
No, not even doing that. But I bet that 12 minutes wouldn't feel as long as having to sit through Evil versus Jeff Cobb again, because that was long. Like, I thought it was honestly longer than 23 minutes. Like, generally, when I was like, is this like, are we getting to. It got to the point where I'm like, is this going to go to a draw? And then they're like, 15 minutes past. I'm like, what? 15 minutes past? It feels like it's been fucking nearly 30. Like, and there's nothing against these guys. It was so long.
Yeah, yeah, man. I know, like we said, that's New Japan's normal booking formula to have these long main events, but sometimes they need to take into account who is in this main event. Like, if you have two big, strong guys, man, they're not about to go fucking time limit because their gas tanks is not going to allow it, and they have big fucking shots to where in any heavyweight division with two strong guys, whether it be boxing or MMA, you know that one good shot is all it takes. So I don't know. Jesus. Yeah, it's I don't know. They shouldn't have went 23 minutes. Like you said, I'm with you. I'm with the 13-minute area. If you want to go 15, I won't be mad at that. But it is what it is. So two matches we got on Saturday. We have in the penultimate match, we have Suzuki Gun boss Minoru Suzuki taking on Go to Sleep Club, Bullet Club, what a top gunner in my opinion, Kenta, man. So
Is that
it's a
Saturday or
match
Sunday?
that's Saturday.
Fuck's sake! Why am I not eligible to come on Saturday night? For fuck's sake! Ugh. You know what? Sunday night,
Who you got though?
Sunday night we'll do a review together of that day's New Japan show. But I'm also gonna do my own review of that because I'm really looking forward to that because they've both been killing it.
Yeah, I was going to say with the Sunday review, if you want to also give your thoughts on the night before, that would also be okay as well. I mean, we make our own rules here, so
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, do what we want. Yep, that's true. I'll do that as well. Results.
so like, and then who you got winning that match though?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think Kenta. I think they're really going to give him a good push because I think in their eyes, the exposure he had on Dynamite, the exposure he had on the New Japan Strong, I think they're going to push him.
Same, I really do. I think Kenta wins this right here, and it just makes the most sense, honestly. Like, yeah, I'm glad this match is happening. If Suzuki won this match, I wouldn't be upset nor surprised. But I think my money is on the go to sleep captain Kenta right now. So going to Kenta. And then the main event, we got Hiroki Goto. Pretty much two guys that are pretty much mirror images of each other, to be honest, in my 100% opinion. Hiroki Goto going against the Dragon Shingo Takagi, man. And you already know who I got. It's Shingo Takagi's winning this match, man. Goto, I love you. We go way back like wave caps and Cadillacs and all that good shit. But yeah, Shingo's beating you here tonight, sir.
Yep. Hopefully that is the case. What about Sunday? What we got Sunday to look forward to?
Sunday. Let's see here. We're at the Baycom Gymnasium. Interestingly enough, I want to see how the aesthetics look on that gymnasium. So let's see the New Japan Cup matches. We have two, maybe not one main. The main event's interesting, but I ain't gonna say the semi-main is not interesting. We have Yuji Nagata taking on the Cold Skull himself, SOS Wrestling Network favorite because everybody on Twitter likes to shit on him, but we praise him even when he does questionable shit. Sonata right here.
Hmm.
So he doesn't do questionable shit. I'm just saying, it is fit with the narrative. But I don't know. I expect a really good match because Yuji Nagata is a fucking pro wrestling technician, pro wrestling general. Like I said about Suzuki, one of the greatest wrestlers like ever. That saying goes for Yuji Nagata here. He's one of the greatest pro wrestlers of all time, man. And Sonata's not really going to have to do much because he's in there with such a fucking veteran and general that is Yuji Nagata. He's going to guide Sonata to victory right here. Yeah, I got Sonata.
Yeah, I'm the same. Definitely Sonata.
And Sonata should feel so lucky that he's had two opening not the open two opening round, but the first and the second round matches are against such pros like Tomohiro Ishii and Yuji Nagata because they're gonna fucking steer you right no matter who the fuck you are. So it's just like, all right, yeah, I got two like veterans. So I mean, I'm not saying Sonata is bad, but I think people are going to have a little bit more intrigue, a little bit more oomph in their matches because they just carry that heart when they go into that ring. So credit to Sonata getting both those guys in his first two matchups. So then the main event, pretty much, this is for the, I guess, the Prince of England because we all know LK is the King of England.
Hmm.
So whoever wins this match is the going to be the Prince under LK, in my opinion. So we have Will Osprey taking on Zack Saber Jr. right here. Ugh, I would love for Zack Saber Jr. to win, but unfortunately, I see Will Osprey win it because it's the way how things are going in the landscape in New Japan. Who's kind of on the rise more right now, and the United Empire and Will Osprey, unfortunately, are on the rise. So I'm going with Will Osprey. If Zack Sabre Jr. won, pleasant surprise, but I just see Osprey beating him.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. I see Osprey getting the win. And I see Osprey winning because I think Osprey Bushi will be fresh, but we'll get to that bit when we get to that because we're still early in the second round here, so it'll be very interesting when we
Yeah.
get to the quarters and semis and finals.
And honestly, too, even though I might like Zack Sabre Jr. a little bit more than Will Osprey, but if you think about it, if you just take all biases aside, look for what that victory like that does for Will Osprey. He just beat a former New Japan Cup winner in the New Japan Cup, and he probably needs that match more than Zack Saber Jr. does right now. And ultimately, when it comes to pro wrestling, when I push my biases aside, I'm for that. I'm like, who needs this match more, and what makes sense? And I'm not saying Zack Sabre Jr. winning wouldn't make sense because if it's like a surprise, like roll up victory, like oh shit, that was surprising. But if you look at it on paper, Will Ospreay needs this match more, and I actually am for him winning this match because yeah, he needs to win this match more than Zack Sabre Jr. does.
Roger that, 100% agree. Osprey definitely needs to win, and I think it's going to be a great match regardless. So, see if that match goes 23 minutes, that's fine because cardiovascular, they're not going to be hitting each other as hard. There's going to be lots of tech work. So yeah, that I hope goes long. Hopefully that's the main event because then they can get given a lot of time.
I think it will. I think it will get a lot of time. It will get the time definitely necessary that these guys need. And I'm glad both these guys are in the main event, man. So, and we'll be here because that's on a Sunday. So you'll be back, and that's on a Sunday. We'll be covering that. So,
Absolutely, looking forward to doing that indeed. Fuck me, that's kind of all I reckon. I think that's all. I think it's time to wrap this bad boy up.
yeah, man, you know what it is, man. We're probably are not are, of course are, because that's our opinion, but probably the most thorough New Japan Cup coverage here that you can find in podcast form because many people might put the results or, whatever, but we're here talking about our shows, the opinions. Hell, I'm getting my ass kicked in the undercard like that babyface in peril, like
Mm.
LK was talking about earlier. So yeah, man, just come along and ride with us. We'll be here on the what night seven is coming up next. So I mean night six, night five, whoever, who knows what number we're on now. We're on the next night, which is going to be Saturday. I'll be here to cover that for you. Like I said, Sunday, LK will be here to talk about his thoughts from the Saturday show. We'll combine our thoughts on the Sunday show. And yeah, man, we're just on the road to this New Japan Cup final, and whoever the final will be against this fucking mad tyrant that is Kota Ibushi. So